Welcome to Sparks of History, where world history and Jewish history meet. We are extremely pleased to have with us today Professor Leah Garrett. Professor Garrett is Director of Jewish Studies Center and Director of Hebrew and Jewish Studies at Hunter College. Professor Garrett is an award-winning author, and some of her books include Young Lions: How Jewish Authors Reinvented the American War Novel. That book won the 2017 Jordan Schnitzer Book Award for Modern Jewish History. Additionally, Professor Garrett is the author of A Night at the Opera, Heine, Wagner, Herzl, Peretz, and the Legacy of Der Tannhäuser, The Cross and Other Jewish Stories by Lamed Shapiro, and Journeys Beyond the Pale, Yiddish Travel Writing in the Modern World. And today, we will be discussing an incredibly fascinating page-turner, X-Troop, the secret Jewish Commandos of World War II. This is a deeply researched book. And again, it's a page-turner. I urge all of our listeners and viewers to simply go on to Amazon, as I did, click a button, free delivery anywhere in the world, and really worth the read. We'll get just a little bit of a taste of the book, but again, urge our listeners and viewers to read the book themselves. Again, Professor Garrett, thank you so much for joining us today.
And thank you so much for having me today.
Just to start off, a little bit about your background and how you became interested in X-Troop.
Well, the book I'd written before X-Troop was also about World War II and Jewish servicemen. And I come from a family of proud Jewish servicemen who served in World War II for the American military. And I thought after I wrote the last book about American Jewish servicemen that I had sort of World War II out of my system. And I thought I was going to write the next book about Mad Magazine. But I went to an event at the Center for Jewish History, which was on World War II, and I thought, oh, I still have this real deep itch I need to scratch about Jewish people who fought in the war. And it was also a time here in the States when just a couple of years ago, but when anti-Semitism was really bad in our day-to-day lives. I was having to deal with it at CUNY, and I felt that I wanted to hear a story about Jews fighting back as well, because I understand that all of our stories about Jews in World War II tend to be about victims or partisans who die, but I was really interested in finding out about Jews who fought back and killed Nazis and made an impact on the war. So I started researching just very randomly to try and figure out if there was a story out there that hadn't been told. And I came across this very little work done on this group called X-Troop, this secret commando unit of Jewish refugees. And once I started to research it, getting in touch with families, getting in touch with archives, going to different museums, I discovered that there was this remarkable, important story about Jewish soldiers that hadn't been told before, and about Jewish men who took the battle against the Nazis right to the front lines and actually made a profound impact in the war. So when I started to research it, I discovered these families had all this archival material. And when I would ask them to share what they had, it was like everyone was waiting for somebody to tell the story, and nobody had told the story. So it was before lockdown. And so I just started to do the research, and I couldn't believe what I discovered. As you probably noticed when you read the book, every chapter, it's like, are you kidding me? They did this? And then you read the next chapter and you're thinking, and they did this? That's what it was like to research the book, to find that they were at the forefront of all the major military campaigns fighting for the British, and people hadn't told their story and knew about them. And for me, it was particularly important because I felt that I was tired of only hearing stories of Jewish victims, which is understandable with World War II, but I knew that there had to be stories of Jews fighting back and surviving and winning and making a difference. And so that was sort of the motivation behind writing it, researching it very deeply, getting tons of sources, and then getting out as quickly as I could.